Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I am doing a reading for our beautiful collective here. So I'm starting today with the Energy Oracle Cards deck. If you would like me to bring forth a message specifically for you and your situation, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and also to be sure to like the video, because by liking and subscribing, this allows me to pick up on your energy more easily and channel more specifically for you and your situation. Right away, we have the Door to Romance reversed and the Strategy card in the upright position. And what I'm really getting from these cards is someone who is very much feeling in their head about a love connection that doesn't seem to be coming together or working out in the way that they desire it to through the mind. I'm feeling a lot of frustration coming through from this person. And we have the Thinking Woman reversed. It's like frustration and then just a letting go, kind of throwing up your hands saying, I surrender this because I don't know what to do with this. I'm also getting that butterfly symbolism might be significant to someone here. Man holding a heart upright. This is really interesting because what I'm picking up here is firstly a divine feminine feeling this sense of frustration in love. Feeling as though something isn't working out or isn't coming together as plans, leading to frustration that ultimately leads to this surrender of the mind, this surrender of the need to know. Because there's something about this situation that just feels unknowable. But then on the outskirts of all of this, I see this masculine energy represented by the man holding a heart in the upright position. I see him being this very watchful energy, kind of looking on to this whole situation. Now, whether this is happening at a soul level or at a 3D level, only you can know for sure within your situation. And as I always say, be sure to only take from these readings what resonates with you intuitively. I keep getting a name with an H in it. I also heard the name Peter earlier, but please keep in mind that whenever I channel these specific words, names, details, these are usually meant for just specific individuals. So they may not resonate with you specifically. We also have star bathing here, light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. So there is a mutual activation of the soul, but not just the soul as in the entire energy body, but actually an activation of the heart. And I see that this masculine, the one who is standing here with his heart open, kind of on the outskirts of this situation, which by the way, for some reason I keep feeling as though consciously in the 3D world, this divine feminine who's feeling frustrated about this love situation doesn't necessarily fully see this masculine who is there, who is watching, who is on the outskirts. Now, this could be because, again, he could be present here, open-hearted at a soul level. This could be actually the higher self of the more wounded and potentially less awakened masculine energy that is creating frustration in the 3D for this divine feminine. But equally, this also could be a secondary masculine figure who is almost secretly being activated, being awakened by just being near this divine feminine. I keep hearing being close. So either this is someone that, again, could be the higher self of a wounded masculine that you, divine feminine, have felt frustration with in the 3D. Or for some of you, this could be someone new or relatively new who has entered your life. Or if they haven't yet entered your life, they've entered your consciousness. We always meet in consciousness before we meet in the physical. So this might be someone that you could be meeting in the physical world in the near future, because you are already aware of one another at a soul level, at this higher self level. I feel that you may have even had dreams or daydreams about this person, or just somehow sensed them. In fact, if you haven't yet met this secondary masculine figure, I'm getting that divine feminine. This could be someone who energetically has blocked a different love situation in 3D that wasn't meant, meaning wasn't at the place according to divine timing, where it was meant to come together at that moment in the physical. I know this is kind of a higher complex message, and this won't be for everyone, but for some of you, this secondary masculine figure who is very open-hearted, who is very much, I keep hearing secretly awakened. So this might be someone who, when you meet them, or if you've met them in the 3D, you might not suspect them to be spiritually awake, because they might not give you those signals and indicators in the 3D. But they are someone who thinks very deeply about life, about themselves, about the world and the universe. And again, through this touching of your consciousnesses, whether this meeting has happened purely in the 5D or in the 3D, you have actually, divine feminine, sparked an activation within this masculine, an awakening. And what this has done as well with indecision in the reverse position is it's causing him, again, either on a soul level or in the 3D, to feel really intensely focused and fixated on you. I keep hearing like he knows what he wants. He seems very, very decisive here. And again, it's like the eyes on this man holding a heart card keep standing out to me, because it's as though he is just watching with this single-minded focus solely on you, divine feminine, because he recognizes you as the one who has sparked this awakening, this activation within him. However, I do feel as though this masculine that's coming through here is carrying something from his past. I feel like part of this meeting, again, whether it's a 5D meeting or a 3D meeting, part of what this meeting has done for him is it's actually pushed him into his past experience for the purpose of this kind of life review. Now, we hear about the life review in, of course, what we think of as the afterlife. So after we transition from this physical lifetime, there will be a time when we review over our life and we are able to see scenarios, interactions, situations from our life and analyze them and essentially integrate them into our overarching experience and evolution as a soul. But sometimes within a physical lifetime, within a physical incarnation, we're given moments in time where we are essentially able to have these checkpoint moments where, just as in that life review as a soul, when we transition, we will be able to overview our entire life and glean these pieces of information and spiritual knowledge to take with us into the beyond, into the next lifetime. I see that this masculine is going through one of those checkpoint moments, but actually within this physical lifetime. So he might be thinking a lot about his past, but for the purpose of, I'm hearing like ego death, he's letting go of these parts of his past that he's realizing weren't ever really him to begin with, meaning they weren't ever really him at a soul level. We have the thinking man upright. So yeah, this represents going back into the past, seeing the ways in which he may have acted or behaved from ego dominance, from being driven by ego in the past. But again, this ego dominance has now been replaced by this massive heart's openness. And so this masculine is really being guided to release the past. I feel like prior to meeting you, Divine Feminine, this masculine actually may have spent a lot of time, I'm hearing, living in his glory days, living in the past, reliving the past, whatever this might mean for him specifically. So he may have spent a lot of time looking at old pictures, reflecting on the past, being nostalgic for the past, but not really being clear about what he wanted for the future. And I feel like you, Divine Feminine, have pushed him to finally release his past, to no longer live within it, but to review it, to glean the necessary wisdom and lessons, and to actually now have this very, very strong sense of focus for what he wants for the future of his life. But I have to say specifically, what he's really focused on is what he desires in love with you, Divine Feminine, because his heart is wide open and he's fully focused on you at this time, especially in a romantic sense. But he does perceive you as potentially being a bit guarded, or in the 3D being potentially a bit distracted, meaning your energy is being diverted. So if this person hasn't yet entered your life, it may be because they're waiting for this opening. For others of you, this person may be someone that you've already met. And again, they might just be a little bit nervous because they're not sure yet how you're going to respond to their full focus upon you, to this heart openness. So in the extended version of the reading, I will be channeling more messages about how this particular masculine energy is thinking and feeling, as well as what he wants to communicate to you, Divine Feminine, because I do see, again, this very heart's open energy and this desire for increased communication between the two of you, regardless of whether this is a desire at the soul level, at the 5D level, if you haven't yet met, or in the 3D. So the link to the extended reading is in the pinned comments and description box under this video, where we will be channeling those additional messages from this masculine. But for now, I am going to reshuffle the cards, clear out the energies a bit, and shift focus to you, Divine Feminines listening, and what you might be going through as of recent, because I did feel this turn of the tides energetically, so to speak, as we entered the month of October. And the first card coming out here is the first chakra, which of course is the root chakra. And what I'm getting right away from you, Divine Feminine, is this desire for security and stability, this desire to be grounded in the physical world, and perhaps to see the full-blown physical 3D manifestation of things that you've been really cultivating energetically. I'm hearing that in recent months or seasons, you may have spent a lot of time kind of up in your head, meditating, reading, journaling, in sort of the fifth dimension realm, if you want to think of it that way. And I see with the month of October, it's like this newfound rush of pulsating desire for all of that energetic wisdom and learning and that spiritual higher level knowing that's been developing within you to come into this full-blown, perceivable, physical manifestation. Now, of course, the shadow side of this, because the light side is, of course, that this desire can be highly motivating. This can really push you into wanting to take action in the physical 3D world. For some reason, I keep seeing someone reorganizing their home or their space. So again, this can be symptomatic of this surge in root chakra energy, this surge in desire for security, for stability, for a sense of being grounded in your physical space, your physical environment, or your relationships. I hear the Divine Feminine saying, I want something real. I want something tangible and manifested. not just in life, but in love as well. And I did see the number 444. So I am going to channel a message from this number. You guys know that when these repeating numbers come up in the readings, I do like to channel information from them by looking them up. And of course, this number will resonate differently for everyone, but I see that this can speak to abundance of everything in your life, abundance opening up for you. But specifically, when it comes to love, it can also speak to the fact that your inner wisdom is pointing you in the right direction. And really that you are manifesting love through wholeness within, through self-love. And I feel that's really beautiful because that is really what the divine feminines have been focused on, this practice of integration, of integrating both the inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine, coming into this state of balance that renders the feminine extremely magnetic for abundance, again, opening up to abundance in all areas of life. But I feel someone's guides here saying, remember that abundance begins energetically, begins as a mentality, because as I was saying before, the shadow side of this surge of root chakra energy that can be highly motivating is that at times it can cause us to feel really overwhelmed by our to-do lists, kind of telling ourselves, well, to manifest this, I have to do this list of things, which can lead to quickly burning ourselves out, feeling fatigued, feeling overwhelmed, or wondering whether we're really capable of bringing these things into physical manifestation. And I heard such a strong message from your guides, and it was hold your vision, but remain flexible when it comes to the physical 3D manifestation of that vision. We have the attachment card in the reverse position. This card, interestingly, shows someone taking off a mask, and I see you, divine feminine, continuously peeling back these layers of everything that others may have convinced you that you were or programmed you to believe that you were, peeling back those layers and coming home to your truest, most authentic self. And a word of caution from your guides that throughout this process, your ego at times may jump up, like with this surge of root chakra energy, and may try to get over involved and push you into action before the time is ripe or ready in terms of divine timing. Especially, of course, with the yin yang card reversed coming out here, this especially could be happening for you when it comes to either a twin flame situation in the physical world, if you do resonate as a twin flame, or when it comes to the balance of your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine, because really the twin flame journey is just this externalized, more consciously felt and perceived experience of the interaction between our inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine. I heard the name Kelly or Kelsey for someone as well. But know that whether you resonate here as a twin flame, as someone who is on a physically manifested twin flame path, or whether you are simply connecting this with the balancing of your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine energy, meaning allowing both of those aspects of yourself to exist in integration and wholeness, both the creative, flowing, nurturing, emotionally connected aspect, as well as the structured, focused, I wanted to say goal-oriented, but that word goal isn't quite aligned. The part of you that is traditionally thought of as more of a masculine energy that is moving forward, taking action towards these goals or dreams or visions, remembering to allow both aspects of yourself to coexist, to not allow one to dominate over the other, but to exist in integration, both as this free-flowing emotional being, as well as this very powerful and at times highly focused being as well. But know that either way, this is connecting either as the energetics of that situation within yourself or as a physically manifested twin flame path. There is a new beginning in store, and not just in store, but actually actively unfolding for you. It's just that, and I feel someone's guide saying, in those moments you can't see the new beginning unfolding, it may be because your ego is jumping up and trying to blind you to what is in process to you, to what is unfolding for you. I'm getting this really strange message that, especially for a divine feminine, when your ego jumps up and becomes involved in this way, it may actually cause you to believe that something is ending or dying or closing out, when really, in exactly that same situation, from a soul perspective, it's actually a beginning. It's a rebirthing. It's a new way of approaching things. Now, this could apply in love, of course, specifically. It could be that your ego is perceiving that one relationship or connection is dying or is closing out or is ending, when really there is actually a rebirthing happening within this connection or within this person. But for others of you, this could be in life. It could be that your ego is telling you that somehow something is declining, whether it's your work or yourself, your physicality, something in your life, when in actuality, this is a rebirthing. This is the metamorphosis happening. But I keep hearing that there's a new way of doing things here. The ego perceives anything that is transitioning from something old to something new, as being naturally an ending. It feels as though in those moments of transition, it is dying, but your soul knows that it is only being reborn. And of course, to perfectly align with all of that, we have the Goddess of the Moon card upright. This isn't something closing out for you, Divine Feminine. This is you coming into your true power. I'm getting something about tattoos for someone here. Victory. Yeah, you are not just going to be victorious. Again, the key message here is the victory is already in process. It's already unfolding. And so I feel that at times for Divine Feminines here, there may be this kind of jumping back and forth between perspectives that may almost feel like living between two worlds at times. And my guides corrected me to say it's because you are living between two worlds. You are living between the old earth and the new earth, the 3D and the 5D. And so what happens is when you're seeing through the perspective of your soul and your higher self, you're living in the 5th dimension, which is overlaid on the exact same physical plane you are interacting with. So, for example, two people could meet, but be struggling to communicate because one of them is communicating from the 5D and the other is communicating from the 3D. And so they might be miscommunicating, not hearing each other, talking over each other. And you might be experiencing this. Maybe that's why my guides are bringing this up, because some of you Divine Feminines may be experiencing this in your interactions, your conversations with other physical humans. You might feel at times as though you are quite literally not being heard, not being seen, being overlooked. But it's only because you are paving the way and existing mostly in New Earth, in the 5th dimensional realm, in this higher plane of existence that, again, physically might look the same. It might be on the same physical plane, so to speak, but it's an entirely different experience. And what you manifest in your life will be so much more powerful and effortless because you are no longer manifesting from the 3D, you are manifesting from the 5D. Wow, very powerful message coming through from your guides. And In the extended version of the reading, because your spirit guides, Divine Feminine, seem to be very talkative, I will be sharing more information about this 3D versus 5D split, how this might be affecting your life and the way in which you are manifesting within this life, how you are learning to manifest from the 5D as opposed to the 3D. So those extended messages will be on Patreon, which of course is linked in the pinned comments and description box. But a major preview message is Patience Reverse, which is keep in mind that when you are this limitless being, remembering your limitlessness, when you are this abundant being, remembering your true nature of abundance, when so many people around you are still living from a 3D perspective, at times you might find yourself slipping back into that 3D mentality. Now, of course, you already know the new way, you know the path to the 5D. You've practiced that higher vibration long enough that you'll never really be able to comfortably sit in lower vibration, sit in the 3D in the way that you may have used to in the past. But what you need to know is that sometimes others might weight you down a little bit, pull you back a little bit into those old mentalities and mindsets that are really just generated from fear or from control, attempting to control the circumstances or the timing. And in those moments, you might feel this artificial sense of urgency around certain things you're trying to manifest in your life or in your love situation. Because again, with the Patience card reversed, we have the ego stepping back up and trying to reassert itself. Again, it can't ever really do this in your energy field because you've already ascended to this higher level. But in those moments, you might feel a sense of urgency. You might feel fears or doubts coming up. You might wonder, well, when is it going to happen? How can I push this into place? And just remember that your victory has already happened energetically. It's not about timing. It's about divine timing, which is actually about energetic alignments. And you already know how to align energetically. This is something you've been practicing in the fifth dimensional realm, in the astral realm, through your dream state, both consciously and unconsciously. I just keep seeing like this spiritual school, so to speak. You've been trained by your guides, by your higher self through this very intense awakening you've been going through the last months or even years or decades. You've been prepared for this moment when you would finally let go entirely of those 3D mentalities rooted in fear, of those 3D artificially created timelines that are out of alignment with divine timing. You are opening the eyes of others by keeping your eyes open to the truth. And the truth is your own limitless nature, your effortless nature, your abundant nature. Continue to bravely hold that frequency, even in interactions, conversations, and situations with others who might not be yet in resonance with those higher frequencies. So again, we will be channeling more higher self messages from your spirit guides, Divine Feminine, and your own higher self about this 3D versus 5D split, how this could be affecting your manifestations, your love life, and any other messages that want to make their way through. The link to that is in the pinned comments and description box under this video. But for now, I do want to pull just one final card for you in this first reading here on YouTube from the Rumi Oracle deck. And this card is Cosmic Heart. It's so synchronistic because we were just talking about your limitless nature. And of course, we get the infinity symbol in the form of a number 8 on this card. And the number 888 can also stand for abundance, manifesting greater abundance in all areas of your life. But I'm seeing it coming to you freely, effortlessly, because you trusted the process, because you remained open even in a world that is still largely closed off. And that is such a beautiful and admirable thing. So I am going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. I was dead. I became alive. I was tears. I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I have seen everything. I have no fear. I have the hearts of a lion. I shine like Venus. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than those temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things, like fear and doubt, is lunacy. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my heart and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. That really feels like a beautiful place to close this reading. So I will now be heading over to the extended reading on Patreon. If you do feel guided to join me on Patreon for the extended messages for this reading, the link to that is in the pinned comment in the description box under the video. I would love to hear from you in the comments section if anything here connected with you personally. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more energy updates and information. I am wishing you the most beautiful rest of your week, and I will talk to you again in the next reading.